who she is.
Okay, can we stop it there?
That's Ruby.
What? Huh?
That's Ruby.
I think she went back overseas for an arranged marriage or something.
Yeah, but...
which she didn't go through with.
Yeah.
At the Missing Persons Unit headquarters, Constable Adam Marsh has some new and promising information that could solve a 30-year-old mystery.
Yeah, we've got a hot lead on this old cold case. This is a lady that passed away in 1971 in a cave in Warrimoo in the Blue Mountains. Two 14-year-old boys discovered the scene 10 years later in 1981. The young boys just stumbled across it by chance. The cave's location itself was a fairly inaccessible sort of area that people would pass by on a track, but they wouldn't necessarily go to the cave.
The woman's skeleton was found laid out on a banana lounge under the cave roof. Scattered around were personal effects that showed she'd been living there. There was a weather-stained handwritten letter signed in the name A. Mountford. Despite rigorous police inquiries, she couldn't be identified and was buried in an unmarked grave.
Unfortunately, in this case, we didn't know this at the time, but there was no missing person report made. We had just a few bits of information that we had to follow up, but unfortunately it never led us to this lady at that time.
But Adam's passion to solve the case and give an identity to the woman now has the advantage of much more sophisticated technology. This time, when he typed in A. Mountford, his search threw up a woman involved in a police inquiry 40 years earlier.
I was very fortunate. I did get a very good tip from the ACT, although it was from 1959. But once that started to happen, I was able to find out more information about this lady and things started to fall into place.
Having a possible identity for the dead woman has given the case new momentum. A fresh search has been ordered of the cave to see if more clues can be uncovered to help confirm the police theory on her identity.
I'm hoping to get more of a sense of the scene itself and what happened in 1981. It's very hard when you've only got a few photographs. You really should attend the scene and see it for yourself.
Good. It's out.
The untamed wilderness of the Blue Mountains is the scene of another search, but this one is far more urgent. An elderly man has gone missing. Walter Beer hasn't been seen since dropping his sick wife at hospital 3 days ago, then heading home in a taxi.
Dropped his wife off at the Penn Hospital, and that was 2 nights ago, and we're very concerned because those 2 nights have been very cold. We're now going to speak to his son at the missing person's home address and see where we can go from there. Hello, Betty, Constable McIntyre.
It's out of character for Walter to be missing. He's never spent a night apart from wife Betty in their 60 years of marriage. The priority is to establish the exact sequence of events leading up to the time Walter vanished.
About 9:30 on Monday morning, Mum and Dad went down to the hospital.
Right.
Later on during the course of that day, it appears that the hospital wanted to do further tests on her and that she would have to remain in the hospital overnight.
Right.
So that's when Dad has decided, between Mum and Dad talking, that okay, it'd be best if he goes home.
Okay.
Local police have been able to confirm that he took a taxi home.
Mr. Beer caught a Premier cab from Penrith to the Lower Blue Mountains,
right.
And that cab was caught from the Pen at about 5:45 p.m. He caught that cab up to the Lower Mountains. He directed the driver where he lived.
Yeah.
He paid for the cab fare and basically said to the cab driver, "That's far enough. I'll hop out and I'll walk the rest of the way."
Oh, okay.
And that was only probably about 4 or 5 doors
from
distance
here.
from here. Yeah.
Right.
Walter was within sight of his home, but as a dementia sufferer may not have realised exactly where he was. But to confuse things, police also have a report from a nurse who thought she saw Walter looking for Betty at the hospital later that night.
She indicated that he poked his head out the sliding doors as the doors opened and he called out his wife's name. "Betty, are you there?"
Police will now need to search both the hospital and the bushland around Walter's home.
He's been gone a long time.
Okay. We'll work with him.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
For Betty, the painful wait continues. Constable Adam Marsh is on the verge of solving a 30-year-old mystery. He's searching a bush cave where a woman's body was found in 1981.
Obviously, it's changed quite a bit, but I can see some similarities. There's a peak at the top of the cave, and that looks pretty much the same. The bottom of the cave's changed quite a bit, and some of the roof of the cave has come down. Hopefully we can find something up there. This lady even had a pin in her leg. And I find that incredible that she's climbed up here with a banana lounge and so many other items.
Police believe they may now know who the mystery woman is. She is thought to have lived in the cave for up to 2 years before she died.
This is where the banana lounge was originally, and it looks like everything's come down from the roof and just filled in all the gaps, which is a shame. You can see it's all just crumbled away into sand, filled in everything. It's fortunate that she was discovered in 1981, because if it had been left this long, we'd never know.
It's a long shot, but this new search may uncover more of the woman's personal possessions and make identification easier.
This is where the majority of her possessions were found, so I guess, I mean, it's still going to be, there's a lot of dirt on top of what was originally here, but if we're going to find anything as far as the jewellery and possessions, it'll probably be in this area, I'd say.
For this police team, it's more than a search of a bit of bushland. They're walking through what was once someone's home.
It feels good to be here after reading the case for so many months and going through it all. It's nice to get a feel of the actual place. And I look out there and I think it's quite a beautiful view. And this lady, I suppose being at the time of her life she was in, thought that this was a great place to come and stay for a while. And I guess it's sad in a way because we don't know exactly how she's passed away, but this probably would have been the last thing that she's seen. I try not to get emotional about cases, but I guess it's kind of touching, yes, this case, and you know, it'd be good to get some resolve for the family of this person.
In the New South Wales Blue Mountains, the search has been stepped up for 88-year-old Walter Beer, who hasn't been seen for 3 days.
On a Roger Crescent, we'll have a look down that little valley there.
One theory is that Walter became disoriented and has spent the last 2 nights in bushland near his house, where temperatures dropped to below zero.
Just watch your altitude there, Jace. So our missing person's house is just here in Roger Crescent, and there's no movement down there at all. Stand by.
While police conduct the aerial search, Doug and Adam are focusing on the second theory, the hospital where Walter was last seen after he dropped his wife Betty off for an overnight stay.
Definitely wouldn't be a pleasant place for an older fella to be, lost and frightened.
They've searched the grounds without success. Next, they'll check the vast network of tunnels underneath.
We're going to start at the top floor of this particular block.
Right.
We'll work our way down the fire stairs,
right.
Search the fire stairs.
Yep.
Then we'll come back up and we'll search the fire stairs on the opposite side.
And do we come back and check these 2 doors? We will. OK, as long as we check everything, that's fine, yeah.
But these tunnels are confusing for police, let alone an 88-year-old man with dementia.
That's a maze, Marsh, isn't it?
It certainly is.
If he gets lost here, it could be serious trouble. We've searched the whole hospital grounds. We found nothing. We'll go back up to Mount Riverview and conduct further searches there and further inquiries with the local police there.
Back at home, Walter's disappearance is especially tough on Betty, who, up until the last days, had never been apart from her husband in 6 decades of marriage.
Anybody out there, if you see my dad around, he's an elderly gentleman, very lovely sort of bloke, but he could be wandering around quite sort of stressed and lost by now. And yeah, if you see him out there, please approach him. Are you Mr. Beer? Are you lost? Can I help you? That'd be great. Much appreciated.
Constable Adam Marsh has tracked down a woman who hasn't seen or heard from her sister in 40 years.
How are you doing? Adam Marsh.
Cheryl.
Nice
How are you doing?
Cheryl. Hello, Nola. How are you?
Her sister's name was Audrey Mountford. Nola Stewart presumed her youngest sibling had disappeared overseas but was alive and well. So she never reported her missing. Now, she's about to hear some incredible news.
You know, what's happened is a lady has passed away in the Blue Mountains, we believe in April 1971. In 1981, two 14-year-old boys discovered this scene. There were a whole lot of personal items that were in the cave where this person had set up home. Now, there was also some envelopes and a half-written letter. Now, those envelopes and the half-written letter had the name Miss A. Mountford on it. So that's how I've come to eventually get here.
The probability that the woman in the cave was Nola's sister is growing stronger by the minute.
Now, since I've talked to you about your relative, Audrey, you've told me some things about her life. The lady had a pin in her leg, and in her other leg there was a healed fracture. Now, I've since found out that Audrey was hit by a car in 1969, I believe.
She was crossing the road, apparently, with the green light, and the car hit her.
The family have also brought in a photo album.
But this is her album, so you know, there's plenty of things in there if you want to have a look.
And for the first time, Adam gets to put a face to the name of Audrey Mountford. But still, no one knows for certain if Audrey is the missing woman. Police must now see if Nola can recognise any of the possessions found at the cave.
So I'll pass them down to you. Now, the first photos are just items that were found. The last photo is of the clothing.
Is there nothing here that looks familiar?
No.
That brooch, nothing?
No.
Oh, that's close to one of them, isn't there?
Is that the one with the watch in it? There's the watch there. Does that look familiar?
No.
But when they take a closer look at the clothing found at the bush campsite and compare it to the coat Audrey is wearing in her portrait, the connection is unavoidable.
That looks familiar, doesn't it?
Yes, the leopard skin.
Still there.
Exactly.
It's almost certainly the same coat.
That's amazing.
And there are other familiar items that seem to put the issue beyond doubt.
She's got a little clip around her neck. That's a little horse or something.
Horse, yeah.
A horse in here.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dog, I
I
think.
think she might have it.
I think I have.
Oh, really?
I think I've got that horse.
Do you recall that checkered scarf at all? Because that's unusual. It looks like David Jones.
She has some connection to David Jones.
She worked with David Jones. She worked.
Is she really?
Finally, the sad story at the end of Audrey Mountford's life emerges. She was a free-spirited woman who loved the bush, loved painting, and it was later discovered, loved a Canadian airman who she met in Australia and then travelled halfway across the world to be with.
She thought he was very serious with her, but he was a married man. He went, after the war, he went back to his family, you know. So I think that might have upset her, I don't know.
Not long afterwards, she headed for the mountains and the bush hideout that would become her home for 2 years, and later, in unexplained circumstances, her grave.
Yes, it's amazing. I can't believe that I'm here facing all this, because there was so much, you know, so many years have gone by.
It's a great relief, I think, to say that, you know, she'd been found, and it appears that, you know, it wasn't too bad. You know, nothing really serious happened to her. She perhaps just passed away quietly. And I think that's, yeah, it's great comfort to know that, yeah.
Thanks, Adam.
Bye-bye.
Tup.
All the best.
Thanks,
Bye-bye,
Adam.
Nola. Take care.
Thanks to Adam's determination, the final chapter has been written in the colourful and complex life of Audrey Mountford. But there's one last formality the family must endure. Finally, they have their answers, but the legal system will need an ending too.
We're getting close to the end of the investigation now, and with that evidence we've got from the family, we can put that with the brief, and I'm going to put that before the coroner. Hopefully he can make a finding and give some closure to this nice family after 40 years.
2,500 kilometres away in Alice Springs, there's breaking news in the 5-year case of Jennifer Lane. Detective Sergeant John Beer has a new witness.
So I haven't actually spoken to her before, so this will be new for me.
That new witness is Betty Pearce. Betty is meeting John at the very spot where she claims she spoke to Jennifer 3 months after she was reported missing by her sister in Adelaide. A warm-hearted would-be missionary, Jennifer wanted to help Aboriginal people in remote communities and so left her home in Adelaide to travel to the outback.
G'day Betty, how are you?
How are you?
Can you just tell me the day that you saw Jenny? Can you just run through what you remember, what happened on that day?
What happened was that I was going up to 16 Mile Creek. This mad white woman wants to go to Balgo.
Balgo is a remote outback community 900 kilometres away. Not exactly walking distance.
I lived at Puerto for 2 years. I knew no way in the world could she, hitchhike to Balgo. And she had a bottle of water, maybe it was one.
And Jennifer was carrying only one partially filled water bottle in the heat of the outback.
She was sort of all,
So she was behaving
hyperactive.
strangely?
Yes, acting strangely and hyperactive.
Jennifer had a thyroid condition when she disappeared, but Betty sensed something else was going on.
What went through my mind was, bipolar, because my granddaughter has bipolar. When I got her attention, I told her that there's no way she could go out there. She said, I'll get out there, my friend will look after me. I said, wait here, and on the way back I'll pick you up and take you into town.
Yeah.
And when I came back half an hour later, she wasn't here.
And do you think that was the lady that you spoke to?
Yeah, I think that was the lady, mainly because of the shape of the nose, and her hair was a little bit longer. It covered her ears, and it was scruffy.
A positive sighting of Jennifer 3 months after she went missing is a great lead in her mysterious disappearance. Back in Jennifer's hometown of Adelaide, her sister Susan has a travel bag Jennifer accidentally left behind.
This is the bag that Jenny left at the bus station in Adelaide the night that she came here before she went to Alice Springs. It's got some clothes, some towels and clothes, and there was also her medications and her scripts for new medications, so she clearly didn't take any of her medications or her scripts with her. It has the family Bible, which has got some of the genealogy of the family in it and some pictures and things like that. Oh, this is about my mum's death. She had a really close relationship with her. And she said she just wished Mum was alive, and I asked why, and she said because she would just love her. And then we just talked, and it's really hard. It's really hard to sort out the symptoms of her illness from her spiritual practice and spiritual belief, because we are all delusional and we are all trying to search to get clear and to get truth, and that's what she was doing, and she had a lot of integrity in doing that. And I really hope that's what she's doing now. I hope she's not ill and miserable. I hope she's finding what she needs. That's what I want for her. I just want to know that's what she's doing.
Somewhere in the vastness of the Blue Mountains near Sydney, an 88-year-old grandfather, Walter Beer, is missing.
Saw a guy matching the description down behind the houses.
He hasn't been sighted for 3 days, and it's time to call in reinforcements to intensify the ground search near Walter's home.
Yep, he was last seen wearing a woolen jumper, fawn long sleeves with red and blue checked pattern on the front. He was wearing grey trousers and black leather shoes. He's also wearing a gold watch and a gold ring.
Pretty much out off Rusden Road, back towards Nickel. Just behind the houses, spaced out evenly, just through the bush. Make sure he just hasn't gone over in the bush.
While the foot search is expanded, the police chopper is continuing aerial surveillance, making a wider sweep of the surrounding area.
Yeah, got the humpy down. Got the humpy down there at 9 o'clock there, Jace. Yep, got us come round to the left. Yep. Nick, do you just want to jump on the gear and have a look at that? Yeah, copy that.
A search camera with a high-powered zoom is used to scour the undergrowth.
Yep, that's it. And there's no movement down there at all? Stand by. Yeah, the boys think very well. That a sighting, Jace, at Bunbinya. Okay. On the other side of the power lines there. Can we head up to there? Yep, no worries. Just go in on the back fence of that house. You've got the detectives. Yeah, got that. Got the detective walking into the bush. Yeah, got that. And he's disappeared there under the canopy there. Yeah, geez, that's sticky there. Oh, it's good they got that ground search going in there because I don't think we'd be able to see through there at all. Roger.
The search on the ground has been going on for several hours now, without any sign of a breakthrough.
I'll go this side, Sally.
No resources are spared, but these experienced searchers know the reality they're dealing with.
We're all pretty tired at the moment. It's been 7 or 8 hours searching for this gentleman, and hopefully we can find him soon. My fears are now that this will be the 3rd night that he'd been missing, and as an 88-year-old, if he is out in the elements somewhere, he wouldn't last the 3rd night.
With every passing hour, the chances of finding Walter alive are fading. In Sydney, it's now official. The coronial inquest into the female remains found in a Blue Mountains cave has just determined that they are those of Audrey Mountford. 38 years later, after she last saw her sister, Nola Stewart finally has closure.
Well, they say it's a closure, but I think it upset me more to find out because I imagined she was away with emissions or something, you know, as she wanted to do. And, but anyway, it's nice to know that where she is. And
it's answered a lot of questions, but it's also opened a lot of questions in terms of, OK, now we've often wondered what happened to Auntie Audrey, and now we know. And I think it was something that she wanted to do, but it's hard for us to understand why.
Yeah. 40 years after she last saw her sister, Nola Stewart finally has closure.
But I think the sad thing is that she was on her own, and for 10 years she was there. That's the part that upsets me more than anything. That for 10 years someone was just laying there. But like I say, I suppose that was the space she was most peaceful in, so from that side, yeah.
For Adam, it's a satisfying result.
I guess I always feel it a little bit when I see somebody that's passed away and realise that there's somebody out there that must be missing this person. Cases are never closed. We continue to work on them, but obviously a case with more information, we've got more to work with, we've got more possibility of getting a result.
Now that Nola has found her sister, all that's left to do is visit her final resting place, this unmarked grave, and pay her respects.
We'll make a trip up there and just sort of give a final farewell and say goodbye to her in the right way, and maybe some little memorial for her, so she's not completely forgotten.
In Alice Springs, John Beer is on the baffling case of Jennifer Lane, who disappeared in the outback in 2004.
Because the case is 5 years old, one of the things I like to do when I'm reviewing this sort of case is to revisit some of the locations that we know that Jennifer was seen and taken to while she was here in Alice Springs.
John's meeting bush pilot Chris Brandt, another person who saw Jennifer several months after she was reported missing.
G'day, Chris.
Hey, John. How you going? I was out doing some hovering practice, and I was hovering the aircraft at about 200 feet, and something caught my eye just out to the left, and I looked down and there was a lady sitting on like a child's tricycle, and I recognised her as being Jennifer Lane.
When you saw this female as you were flying, how did she react to seeing you? What did she do?
She was obviously avoiding the aircraft. When she saw me and noticed that I saw her, she took off into the bush, basically. She didn't want to be found.
After Chris's sighting, police searched until early the next day using a helicopter fitted with infrared cameras, but they found no trace of Jennifer.
One of the main problems we have when we're investigating missing people around this area is the remoteness of it. It doesn't take much to walk away from an urbanised area and become disorientated and basically lost.
John wants to revisit other witnesses in the case. Any extra detail could be vital. Since Jennifer stayed at the local backpackers, he's talking to the manager.
Now, she booked in here and booked to stay for a night.
Yes, she went to her room and I believe that she just went out for the day, and then the next day she was supposed to have checked out. We hadn't seen her, and I think it was about the second day when we still hadn't seen her again that we then called the police because we were concerned because we hadn't seen her, she hadn't checked out, but she still had all her luggage here in the hostel.
And it was a local cab driver who drove Jennifer to a remote location in the early hours of the morning before she disappeared.
You picked her up in town here and took her up to the North Stewart Highway, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you remember when you were driving up there, did Jenny say anything to you about visiting anyone, or...?
No, the only thing she said to me, she wanted to stop at the Shell truck stop.
Truck stop, yeah.
And she went in there and she bought heaps of smokes, a couple of bottles of orange juice.
Yeah, when you dropped her off there, was there anyone else out there that you saw?
Nah.
Jennifer's disappearance has mystified the locals, and no one can explain her behaviour at the time.
This here is the Coles Express or Shell truck stop that Jenny went to and purchased about $500 worth of food, drink and cigarettes. And we know that Jenny wasn't a smoker, so we believe in her mind that she was going to meet somebody and give them that property. We believe she had about $20,000 cash on her when she went missing, so this is obviously something that we are concerned about.
Carrying $20,000 in cash and hundreds of packets of cigarettes, Jennifer has made herself dangerously vulnerable. In New South Wales, Constables Diana Eucles and Corrine Walters are on a puzzling case.
Is that Zahiro?
Yes, thanks.
Hi.
Jamila and Irene, a mother and daughter, arrived on a flight from Bangladesh 24 hours ago. Then they disappeared.
Have you heard from your mum yet?
No.
No, nothing.
Zahir went to the airport to pick up his mother and sister, but couldn't find them. Yet customs officials confirmed they had arrived in Australia.
So, can we meet up with you first thing this morning?
Yes, that's good.
Hello. Hi, how are you? It's good. My name's Diana. This is Corinne. Hello, nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you.
So, how are you feeling at the moment? Are you a bit worried?
We too worry. I'm really nervous, and now is my mother. It's very hard for me. We couldn't sleep last night.
Yeah. Oh, you poor thing. It's all right. We're doing our best now to find her. Okay. Take a seat. So, when did they leave to go to Bangladesh? Let's have a look.
They leave on that date.
Yep, so they left on the 3rd of March?
Yes.
So you were there for 2 hours looking, 8:15, about
around 8:15. So that is, and then I asked that into the information desk.
The daughter, Irene, went to Bangladesh to find a husband, but she was unsuccessful.
Did she go over there hoping to marry someone and maybe she's upset now?
No, that's why she asked me.
Or did she feel ashamed to come back here?
Sister want to go marry to the overseas, and after that, because her choice, she marry or not marry, she depend is her.
Choice, yep. No worries.
She like marry, she can marry. She don't like it. This is totally independent.
Yep.
Making their disappearance even more critical is that his mother, Jamila, has medical conditions that need constant attention.
She's some problems. She's into because she got a heart problems. She got a diabetes, but under medication.
Mystified by his mother and sister's disappearance, Zahir can only suggest police talk to his neighbour.
Maybe if you just want to let us know we're from. Hi, how are you?
She can speak also a little bit.
Can you speak English? Well, we're really concerned because they didn't. They landed at Sydney Airport on Saturday.
When they come back, I don't know.
You haven't spoken. Do you know where she might go?
No, I have no idea.
No idea at all?
No idea.
But the friend gives Diana and Corrine a positive lead, and they head off to check the local shopping centre where Jamila and Irene like to spend time. At home, Zahir pleads for them to contact him urgently.
to my mom and my sister, please contact us immediately. We are very worried for you. Thank you.
There's still no sign of a mother and daughter, Jamila and Irene, who've been missing for 24 hours since arriving back in Australia on a flight from Bangladesh. Following a lead, Diana and Kareen are checking a local shopping centre. And as soon as they arrive, they think they spot the missing mother and daughter.
What's your name, please? What's your name? Okay. And your name?
This is my mother-in-law.
What's her name?
Just Kalima.
Okay,
How you going?
It's not Jamila and Irene. So the next best thing is to check the previous day's security footage to see if the missing women have been at the local shopping centre.
I can barely see.
Is this the only way they can come out?
And go a bit faster.
But this story is about to take a completely unexpected turn.
There they go.
Okay. They're talking to Celia.
Who's that? Who's that?
Celia?
She's the girl
Yeah.
from the cafe up the top.
So maybe...
I know who she is.
Okay, can we stop it there?
That's Ruby.
What?
Huh? That's Ruby. Yeah.
Daughter Irene has been calling herself Ruby.
Who's Ruby?
She used to work at the CNN cafe. Every Friday.
Are you sure?
That's Ruby, yes.
So her name's... You don't know her as Irene?
No, Ruby.
And that's that?
I don't know her mum.
Is her mum?
I don't know her mum.
Definitely
I know
that's her. Tell me what you know about her.
I know she went to Bangladesh to get married.
Yeah.
In March.
But she was working here?
Yeah.
Up until she left?
Yeah.
What's the name of the store?
CNN Cafe.
Can you get Celia to come up?
Diana hopes the cafe owner, Celia, can fill them in on this unknown half of Irene's double life.
Hi, Celia. Hey. Hi, my name's Diana. I'm from the Missing Persons Unit. Do you know this woman? I think her name's Ruby. She used to work with you.
All right, I'll give you...
yeah, that's a mother.
Yeah.
Show the other photo. This
Maybe
one.
that's not a very good photo. Ruby?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's actually a missing person. She's been reported missing, and we just looked on the footage and seen you talking to her yesterday.
Yeah, she's back. She arrived back yesterday.
She arrived yesterday? Do you know where she's staying?
Lakemba, she was telling me.
She's staying in Lakemba.
Because her brother went to pick her up from the airport and waited there for a few hours and she didn't come out. So he's reported her missing.
Yeah, right. I said, when did you come back? And she said, yesterday.
Yep.
And then I go, okay. And then she said, I said, where are you staying? Are you still with your brother? And she said, no, I'm at Lakemba. I think she went back overseas for an arranged marriage or something.
Yeah,
which she didn't go through with.
Yeah.
And because she had a boyfriend here or something.
So, not only is Irene calling herself Ruby, but she also has a boyfriend in Sydney.
Okay.
Is it the same boyfriend? Sorry, Di.
That's
Is it the
right.
same
We're on the
boyfriend that
same
she
phone
had before?
If you do happen to see her or speak to her, can you just let her know she has been reported missing. She's not in any trouble at all, but she just needs to go to the nearest police station to be cited. If she
The two women may not want to be found, but Zahir has reported them missing, so Diana still needs to get to the bottom of this mystery. It's the third day of a major search for 88-year-old grandfather Walter Beer, who's been missing in the rugged Blue Mountains. There's been a tragic and unexpected turn in the case.
No, it's not good news at all. Unfortunately, missing person Walter was found deceased early this morning in the forest area. It's the worst result. Very sad.
Doug joins the police search and rescue squad to confirm the grim news to everyone who took part in the search.
Okay, fellas, as you're aware, the missing person's been found deceased off Nichols Parade. Once again, thank you very much for your attendance here today. So on behalf of the Blue Mountains Command and the Blue Mountains Police Rescue Squad, thanks again for your attendance and the way in which you performed here today.
Walter's body was discovered lying in a creek not far from where he lived.
Our hearts go out to the wife and the son. It's a very sad outcome for them. We can only offer our help to them in any way we can. It's very sad, very sad.
A tragic end for this former Royal Air Force pilot, family man, and loving husband to Betty for 60 years. In Alice Springs, a new witness has reopened the 5-year-old case of 52-year-old Jennifer Lane. John Beer is retracing her last known movements.
When Jenny was taken out here by the taxi driver to the 16-mile area, she mentioned she was visiting friends. Now, we have concerns, particularly about the time of the night that Jenny was taken out here. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. As you can see, it's a very remote area. Now, she had indicated to him that she was meeting friends out here, but at this stage, we believe Jenny had been off her medication for at least a couple of weeks.
The outback is forbidding country, and expert trackers are needed to find missing people. Police turn to a local Aboriginal to try to find Jennifer.
This is Ted Egan, the tracker we used. G'day, Ted. How are you, mate?
Yeah.
Favourite spot, eh? Thought I might find you out here?
Yeah, I stop here.
You stop here?
Yeah.
How you been?
All right.
All right. Hey, you remember about 5 years ago?
Yeah.
We were looking for that lady up near the railway line?
Yeah.
Up near 16 Mile there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just...
That dirt road.
On that dirt road, yeah.
But the only clues discovered by Ted, the Aboriginal tracker, were food wrappers and one set of footprints.
There, right. So, Teddy, you haven't heard anything about that missing lady, Jenny Lane? No? No one's talked about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
No one talk about that lady.
Thanks very much. Good to see you again, eh?
Good to see you.
All right. See you, mate. He did follow some tracks back to the highway, and that's consistent with what we know.
John Beer has no more witnesses left to speak to, but he's not giving up. He and Jennifer's family desperately need public help to solve the mystery. In the case of the missing Bangladeshi mother and daughter, Jamila and Irene were found at the address provided by the shopping centre manager. While Diana's on another case, Mandy's visiting them at home.
Hello. Diana, how are you? I'm Mandy. This is Danielle. You're Irene? Irene. Mandy.
She's Zamila.
Hello. This is Danielle. Are you okay?
Yes.
You look okay. You both look really well. You've had a lot of people worried. Your brother.
Actually, ma'am, my brother is really changed. I don't know.
He wants you to live your life a certain way?
Before he's really nice man, but now 4 years I'm coming there, and then really changed. I don't know why. And I feel my mom, my mom hard, but he not feel it. Doesn't matter. God help them.
As long as you look after each other, you got each other. We'll get out of your way, but yeah, I'm glad you're okay.
Thanks.
Okay?
Thanks.
I'll tell Diana you said hello.
Bye. Yeah.
But police still have the difficult job of telling Zahir his mother and sister don't want to live with him. In the case of Jamila and Irene, the mother and daughter who disappeared after returning from Bangladesh, Diana now has to tell Zahir his mother and sister are not coming home.
Yeah, thanks.
Still, I don't know where they're living and why they're hiding to me, and I'm very in high tension because because my mom shouldn't be like this.
Let me just say, they're okay. They're safe and well, and they're staying with someone at the moment.
But I am worried for if somebody guides them, misguide them.
Yeah.
This is the I am worried.
Can I just say something?
Yes.
As much as you may be in control, not in control of them, but you've been looking out for them for however long.
Yes.
She's a grown woman. I don't think she's going to make any misinformed decisions or be misguided.
Yes.
So you just, it's not your child, but maybe you should just let her go and just let her make her own decisions. If she makes a mistake, she's just going to have to learn from it herself.
That's right. But I am worried for my mother. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's very
well,
important.
you know what? I think she can look after your mother as well.
It's a lot of stress because it's...
But Irene's been taking her to the doctors.
Unless I know that they are okay, they're healthy.
They are fine, yeah.
And that's okay, no problems.
Sadly, some stories simply don't have happy endings. Being found doesn't necessarily mean being reunited. In Adelaide, Jennifer Lane's family is convinced she's still alive, despite disappearing in the outback 5 years ago.
I don't think she's dead. I don't have any feeling about that. None of her friends or relatives have any sense of that, and I think we would. I don't know. I don't know if she's safe and doing what she needs to do, or I don't know if she's not well and really miserable, and I don't want that for her.
When a family member is missing, it's often at family gatherings they are missed the most. Today is the first birthday of Dylan, a nephew Jennifer has never met.
It's sometimes tough at family dues. As time goes on, it gets a bit easier, but that's only because you sort of try to put it in a box and hide it away so you don't feel sad.
We're always aware of Jenny not being here, and I'd love her to be here. She and I would be there together, you know, in the midst of everybody, and so I really miss her. Anybody who might have seen Jenny or know where she is, we just want to know that she's safe and well. She doesn't have to contact us, she doesn't have to talk to us. I'd love to help her or support her or be there for her in any way she needs, but I don't have to have that. I just really want to know that she's okay and that she's alive. It's the most important thing.
If you recognise this photograph or have any information, please call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000.